Happy Friday, everyone. DeGraft here, and I have got a busy end-of-week Newsround bulletin for you. Coming up over the next few minutes, we get ready for the last weekend before Halloween, and England get ready for their final World Cup game. But first, let's start with some sport news this morning. And there's a full roundup of matches for the home nations in the Women's Nations League tonight. England will play against Belgium at Wembley. Scotland travel to Holland to face the Netherlands. Wales have a tough tie against Germany. And Northern Ireland, the only home nation team not to have lost a match yet, will face Hungary. Now, in rugby, England have been training this week ahead of their last match of the Rugby World Cup. The team will be aiming for third place, but they'll have to beat Argentina to get that bronze medal. Meanwhile, South Africa will play New Zealand on Saturday night in the final for the right to lift the trophy. Next, new rules for tech companies, which aim to make their internet safer for children, have become law. After years of discussion, the online safety bill seeks to force tech firms to take more responsibility for illegal and harmful content on their platforms. Now, some children's charities says it will help to protect children online. However, critics say it isn't tough enough. Some companies, like WhatsApp, have said they might close in the UK over new rules. Now, if you love reading and writing, then the BBC 500 Words competition could be for you. Now, it's all about using your imagination to write an amazing story and not to worry about your spelling or grammar. Now, the winners will get their story read out in Buckingham Palace. Well, Ricky went to chat to Jamie Johnson author Dan Friedman about what makes a good story.
Have you ever had an idea for a really good story, but you just weren't sure how to put that idea onto the page? Well, I've come to a school in Blackpool today to meet loads of kids who are getting advice on how to do just that, with the help of some very special guests. Come with me.
I think what makes a good story is fantasy.
Like scary things.
Do you like scary stories?
I like stories which use suspense and a lot of illustration.
I really like mysterious stories about like who did this, who did that, stuff like that.
Well, the idea of 500 Words is just encouraging children from 5 to 11 to write their own stories about whatever they want. All we care about is their original idea. They don't even have to worry about spelling, punctuation, grammar. We just want the creativity.
Absolutely, and although 500 words is in the title, it doesn't have to be as long as 500. We're just saying that's the maximum.
Really? So
Yeah.
I could just do like 10 words?
Yeah. If you can make a good story in 10 words, you'd be one of the best writers ever, I have to say.
What advice do you have to that kid who just doesn't really think that picking up a pen is going to be that fun or interesting?
I've had times where I found it really, really difficult, and that's the other thing I wanted to say to people is, although it's a story writing competition, if it doesn't come naturally to you reading or writing at this age, then that's okay, and don't worry. And again, maybe that's the reason why you should write a story, because there aren't books out there for you at the moment.
So listen, I've learnt so much from you today. I think loads of kids at home will have taken something, and hopefully we're going to have loads of brilliant stories coming your way to the 500 Words competition.
We are heading to Bolivia next, where people have been protesting after wildfires have been causing harmful levels of air pollution in many cities there. Schools have been closed and people have been encouraged not to go outside if they are vulnerable. Protesters want the government to declare a national emergency to help protect plants and wildlife in the fire-hit areas. Well, we have loads still to come on the programme today, including we check out a very special train set and another use for a pumpkin you probably hadn't thought of. Now, this is the final weekend before Halloween, and loads of you will be having or going to parties or special events in the coming days. So let's see what spooky goings-on are happening around the world. Let's start in Leeds, where one family have created their own spooky light show. Each year, the Hodgsons build a whole Halloween walk for their neighbourhood with spooky lights set to scary music. The creative family love Halloween and spend ages getting it ready. We are off to Legoland in Denmark next, where spiders, rats and of course pumpkins make up a special Halloween display. The star of the show is a record-breaking Lego pumpkin, the biggest in the world, and alongside it, lots of mini pumpkins made by the children who come to visit the attraction. And lastly, to Los Angeles in America, where this super spooky Halloween walk lets visitors check out some pumpkin-themed dinosaurs before they head to the famous names carved into pumpkins. Prince Harry and Meghan make the cut, as do Justin and Hailey Bieber. And then, as we all know, nothing says Halloween more than SpongeBob. Well, we want to hear from you. Head over to the Newsround website to let us know what you have planned for Halloween, and make sure you send us a picture of your costume as well. Next up, if you love playing with train sets, then take a look at this. This is the Leek and Ridyard model railway train in Staffordshire, which has just gone for sale for the first time in decades. Owning the set means you'll get to play with the pretty big model train, and you get the tracks and controls thrown in. It's pretty cool, eh? Only problem is it'll cost £500,000, so you're going to have to count me out of that one. Now, is there just time for this week's strange news? Of course there is. Take it away, Ricky.
Up first, has anyone lost their sheep? Maybe Bo Peep has. Well, here is what can only be described as a lambush, as a flock of sheep got lost and decided to stop in this garden and have a cheeky snack. The 20-minute lunch break was caught on the home CCTV. Balmy, you might say. Next up, what do you get if you have massive pumpkins, people and some water? Pumpkin racing, of course. These giant pumpkins were used as boats on a Belgium lake where more than 150 people took part in the race. These are massive pumpkins. I just wonder what they do with them once they've finished racing. Last up, we've got more lost animals. This time, llamas are on the loose. This road in Cumbria had a herd of llamas and alpacas that had escaped from their farm and decided to go for a walk. About 30 of them stopped traffic before being escorted back home to where they belong.
Thanks for that, Ricky. That pumpkin boat racing was slightly strange, made me feel a bit weird. Right, guys, that is all we've got time for. Make sure you have a fantastic weekend, and don't forget to head to the website for loads more news and videos, including our epic quiz of the week. We'll see you later, guys. Bye.